What's up, everyone that's possibly watching this? It could be a lot of you, it could be a few of you. But as long as I feel like I'm getting my word out and expressing how I feel about everything and what's going on, I feel like this can do some good and maybe cause a little bit of other things and thoughts by me expressing how I feel about all of this. Um, First, I just want to say I realized that this protest, the big movement, all of it, it's making a lot of people realize what people are there to fight for: the justice of all the people that have tragically have passed on because of police brutality, because of people not liking somebody based off their skin color, of just all of the bad things that black people and other colored people have lost their lives to. I just want to say that I see the people, and I know everybody else can see. The people I follow usually follow the same people, but the people I see that are doing and posting the petitions, that are posting resources, that are posting information out to catch people up if some people may be behind and don't understand what's really going on, because there's a lot of different posts, because every day there's a new story. Every day there is a new follow-up to someone else's story, and every day we try to stay as up to date as possible for everything that's going on. So I see those people, and for all those people that are posting it that I constantly see, and even other people that I don't follow that probably might see this that I see, great. That's great that we're coming together, no matter if it's through social media, no matter if it's doing protests, no matter if it's taking over and doing a boycott. It's good to see different types of people come together that you probably some people wouldn't see come together and peacefully be together without any harm. Also to say that I also do see the people, and I do know a few people that do not post this stuff. And I'm not saying that it's wrong, and I know a lot of people could say, yeah, that's wrong. It's more of I start to realize, and I know a lot of other people start to realize that with their friends and even with their family, that a lot of people will not post this stuff, will not spread the petitions around, will not try to update people on what's going on and what's happening with the protests and what all these people that need justice, like George Floyd and everybody else. They're not spreading this information because maybe one of two things, and I will openly say, and if there's any more, you can always put it down, or if you don't think it's right, you can always put your opinion. But the reasons that I know of personally of why people are not posting all of this stuff is, one, because they don't want to be, depending on their friend group or something, they don't want to be the only person out of their friend group to go around and post this stuff if none of their other friends are doing it. So basically, they see this more as a trend rather than trying to spread awareness and trying to get people to have justice and trying to get families to get justice for the people that they have lost. Because now, when you really think about it, and for those people that know, there's people out there that do not have fathers now, that don't have brothers, that don't have sisters, that don't have cousins, that don't have their sons or daughters with them because of all of the stuff that's happening. And spreading as much as the petitions around and spreading the GoFundMe's, even if you can donate just a little bit or just put your name in the, like, just sign your name, it does a lot. It does absolutely a lot. As much as you may think, oh, but me signing my name on something doesn't help, it does. It helps. But that's one of the reasons. And if you see this as a trend and as a joke, because yes, there is a lot of there I have seen my old friends and even other random people think all of this stuff with George Floyd and everybody else and the protests and the riots is a joke. They think it's a big joke, and it's not. And just because it hasn't happened to you yet, or none of this police brutality has happened to you, and all of this means it's a joke? No. Because again, people lost families, people seen and screamed at police officers to try to get them off, but if they intervened, they could have got just as hurt. And this is something that people don't understand. And the same thing that goes with the riots. People are like, oh, what are the riots gonna do? But they're burning their own communities down. Well, now that information is really getting out there, not the peaceful protesters aren't the ones burning down black and brown businesses. And that's been said by multiple police departments, that has been said on the news, that has been said on different places, that is not, they're not, the peaceful protesters are not burning down the black and brown businesses. Some of them are, which is not okay if they do turn rioty, but the majority is white people. And I have posted videos of white people vandalizing Starbucks, looting Walgreens, doing all of this, right? Even cops beat on their own cars, break their windows, and then say that, oh, it's the protesters, when there's no protesters in sight. And you might be like, oh, but I seen black people coming out of the Gucci store and stuff. And again, like I just told you, there are some black people that are with this movement, and there are some black people that are not. And some of these black people may be the looters and taking this as an advantage to go loot and break into places. But there are videos and things of a white person or somebody throwing a brick into a window of a certain store, like for say Chanel or something, and then walking away. So when the protesters or some other people walk by, they're like, oh, somebody has already looted this place, let me go in and just take something because the window's already broken. I mean, somebody had to go in. And that is basically setting up the protesters and other people to go in. Because let me ask you this: if you was a poor family, you don't have a lot of clothes, you don't have a lot of food, you don't have a lot of resources for you and your family, and you walk by a Chanel or you walk by a Foot Locker and the windows are busted, would you go in and loot and take the stuff? Because if you take the stuff and your family's shoe sizes and the things that they will want, would you take it, or would you keep walking if that was you doing that? And if you said, I'll take it because if my family needs it and this is an opportunity for me to take it without really getting in trouble if there's someone around, I will. Once one person hops in, then multiple people go in the store, start taking things, busting, breaking down the windows. But what I'm saying is, I'm getting off track, is that the rioters and looters are not always with the peaceful protesters. Like multiple cities have said, there are two different groups. One group can be the rioters and stuff, burning and breaking businesses and hurting people's families if they're black, brown-owned businesses, if they're mom and pops. Yes, they're breaking down families because that's their income. The peaceful protesters don't get that far, but we never know, right? They do burn things as well, and like Targets and stuff. But another thing that I see why people do not post this stuff is because people care more about status rather than helping out with their own community. And with community, I mean people of color, which means, yes, people of color. I see a lot of people that will fight to say, oh, I'm part black, I can say the N-word, blah, blah, blah. But now, the same people that were sitting there saying all of that are the same people that are not saying anything about anything that's happening, not spreading information, not doing anything. And that kind of gives a red flag because a lot of people notice, so you want to argue with me back and forth on why you can say the N-word, but you cannot just sign a petition and pass it on. Also, because there's a lot of people out there that think materials mean your status. Well, I wear Gucci. If people know who the owner of Gucci is, you can figure it out. Who's Gucci owned by? I'll let you guess that. So, if Gucci and all these high other products are owned by white men or white things like Michael Kors, which I believe he said that he didn't like seeing black people wearing his stuff, by the way, but I'm not too sure. You can probably don't take my word on that, but I did hear something about that a long time ago. But those high things, right, will be like that. There is why people will not post the things about the petitions and the protests and information, because they do not want to look foolish after all this happens and after all of the protesting slows down and it calms down and dies down, to walk outside and still wear Gucci if they posted only buy from black-owned businesses, or only do this and only do that, and sign the petitions, and then go out and wear clothes or designer things or from white people. And that's why a lot of people do not post as well. And I realized that, and I realized if you are not posting because of your friends, or it's not a popular trend enough, you are a coward. Because if you believe that this is not right, and you believe that these people deserve justice, it does not matter what your friends think. It does not matter how they see you. If you post a petition, if you post resources, it's not wrong. You're not gonna look that funny, you know. But if you don't want to get involved because you're afraid of that, or because none of your other friends are doing it, then you're being a follower rather than breaking that and being a leader. Because maybe they're waiting for one of the other friends, to post something about it. And then they will start posting about it. But if just because none of your friends have publicly or posted anything or signed any petitions, does that mean you don't have to. But that is just my 2 cents.